Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all... Wait a minute. Children 18 years and older, welcome to another episode of Crackin Claws. I am your host, the loudmouth, loose cannon, John Clark. This week's episode, I sit down with one of my best friends, Charlene McKenzie. She's a ref currently for Ohio Valley Wrestling, located right here in Louisville, Kentucky. We talk about how she broke into the business. I asked her a few things about how if being openly homosexual or lesbian, bisexual, whatever, if it has affected her being in the wrestling industry. And she quite frankly said, absolutely not. Nothing has changed. People treat me the same, whether I'm straight or gay, which gives me comfort. We also talk about how Ohio Valley Wrestling is accredited school, and she gives me a little backstory and tells me some of the things they did, some of the classes that they offer, like history in professional wrestling, something that I'm very excited in, and you hear during this podcast. It's something I'm looking into possibly doing because, hey, who can never get enough history of professional wrestling? Also, her being one of the only and very first female referees in the circuit. A pioneer, if you will. Before we go any further, this is a fan-supported and listener-supported by people just like you. If you like what you're hearing, tell a friend, tweet it out, put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok. Hell, even mail your best friend and be like, yo, this is something you need to be listening to. It's on Apple's Music, it's on Spotify, it's on Google platform, it's on... I don't know where you're listening to it at, but if you'd like to go like, rate, and subscribe, that way you know and you get a notification every single time that I post an episode, which I do, and I give it to you every week for absolutely free. And that's one great ways that you can help support this episode of Crackin Claws. Now, I do have some merch that I'm working on that should be out very soon, and I will be posting them on Instagram, TikTok, or Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. That will also help you support guys like me. If you're in a band or a friend of yours is in a band and you would like to be featured on a future episode of Crackin Claws, all you have to do is submit one of your songs to TheCrackinClaws@gmail.com. That is crackinclaws@gmail.com. This week's song of the week is by Left to Suffer. The song is their new single, Anger, that you can catch on all streaming platforms. So grab you something cold to drink and good to eat, slide you up a chair, and enjoy the show. All right, today's guest is Stripes McKenzie, Charlene McKenzie. Yeah, that's how I'm going to introduce you.
That's fine. I don't expect anything less, bro.
Well, I could call you a bunch of other things. I just don't know them right now off the top of my head. I was going to come up with something silly and just call you 100,000 different things, but we'll just go with what we have right now. So let's start off how we met each other back in 2006, 2005, 2006, something like that.
Yeah, I'd say 2006 probably. It's nuts, man. We've known each other 15 years.
Has it been 15?
Yeah, I've known you like half my life. That's wild. Like what? What am I doing with my life? That's what I should be thinking. Like, you're one of my best friends.
That's a lot to say.
Wow.
No, I mean, because I'm kind of a fuck up. I mean, it is what it is. I don't care. I like who I am.
We are all fuck ups. It's okay.
I agree. But I remember seeing you and Heather one day driving in that big ass brown truck. I don't know where it was. Y'all honked at me. I think it was close to GE or maybe OVW or something.
Probably. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my earliest memories. And then I guess Heather was starting out at OVW. And you were like, yeah, it's my friend. She's in this class, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like,
I probably thought that was cool at the time. You know, I was 16 and I was just starting to break into the business around that time.
So we were talking earlier I thought you did some DCW, the original DCW that was in 7th Street, but apparently
No, dude, I would have been too young.
so where was it?
me legal wrestling, brother.
Where were you training at before being
so
trained?
how this worked back in the days of MySpace.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put over the person that got me in contact with them.
Yeah.
But someone on the internet got me in contact with this company that used to run the Industrial Nightmare Building. So they ran in the Industrial Nightmare Building. It was Marcus's company. So it was called CCW. Yeah, he does the door and everything. Yeah. So like Marcus, I've known forever. So Marcus and Kim, right? And Kim runs concessions. You know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they had a company. Yeah, like he left OVW and like a bunch of the guys that like when WWE came in, I don't know how it worked. I'm just assuming that this is how it was. Is the WWE guys came in, a lot of the guys, they kind of, you know how that goes, like a lot of people kind of get weeded out, unfortunately, and
politics.
That's probably what it was. And a bunch of those guys, you know what I mean, they wanted to continue wrestling. They all went on the indies and stuff. And I mean, they'd been running shows for years before I came around. I came around, 2008. Yeah, I was like a sophomore in high school, dude. Yeah. So a lot of bad, man, my dad that was a bad parent decision right there.
Why? Because he let you learn from that decision. That's not bad.
True. Like, I mean, we've obviously talked, like, you literally sat next to me at Dad's funeral, so you know, like,
I already know.
Me and Dad were, like, super close. So, but Pops was always, like, really supportive of everything. Even if he didn't
agree with it.
Yeah, he was just like, she's a good kid. I'll let her do what she's gonna do. So
yeah, what better way than to learn than to learn the hard way?
Yeah, knock your head a few times on the mat. Realize, hey man, I don't know if I should do this.
Yeah,
I want to be a referee.
So you were trying to wrestle and then ended up just wanting to do a referee?
Yeah. Oh, hold up. Did you not know I had like one match?
No, I had no idea you had one wrestling match. Was it Wolfpack?
Bro. No. Oh, no. Wolfpack, what's that? Is that NWO?
Yeah, too sweet.
Here, give me it.
Oh, wee, boy. You said you had a professional wrestling match.
Yeah, man.
Where at and with who?
Fudd's wife.
Oh, in Madison, Indiana.
Yes, you might have actually been there.
That. I do remember that.
Were you there?
Yes,
so now you're remembering this.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah,
but I did have better gear probably than half the show.
The locker room.
Yes, I still have that gear.
There was a handful of us. Yeah, because you had silver pants with purple, the El Bano gimmick.
I'm glad you remember that. Yeah, El Bano. Because I was like,
I called you El Bano this past Tuesday.
You did. I didn't even put it over, bro.
You never put me over.
I mean,
like ever.
I try not to because you bury me a lot.
I don't bury you. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I don't bury anybody.
Oh,
I'm such a sweet guy. But yeah, no, so I remember because that lady was super untrained and then sweared up and down she was trained. And God, what a train wreck.
I can only speak for myself on everything. And it just was not the greatest. And, I decided that I'm going to take that off YouTube, and there's no proof of me ever wrestling. How about that?
Well, there's proof now. We're talking about it on this podcast.
But there's not video proof, okay? And at this point, if this was like a crime, I could talk all about it, okay? Because it's been over 10 years at this point. It has to be. Yes, it's over 10 years.
Statute of limitations.
Yes, so I'm clear. But
I don't know if that works in this case, but we're going to hold you by trial. Hold you to the trial. All
right.
No, I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, I've had some shitty memories with that place in Madison. I am not that fond of it.
I mean, since we're talking about it, I appreciate times in Madison. Like, back in the day, like, I had really bad times, but, like, later on, like, me and Draven became, like, got on a good level. Does that make sense? Like, before, I didn't appreciate how things were done. And I never spoke about it, but I just kind of just, like, let it be and did my own thing, you know?
Well, their excuse of doing what they did to me was like, oh, that's how we came up in the business. I'm like, no, because I've been in several other locker rooms where I've been treated with respect, but of course been given like ribs.
Yeah,
like what you all did to me was not.
I don't remember. Ribs. Is this something we need to edit out?
No, fuck. I'll talk about it. I'm open.
What happened?
About it. I fucking just. always tried to beat on me. They
Didn't they
shit
do something?
in my
Yes,
bag.
I remember that. That was fucked up, bro.
Yeah, and
Because
they're like, that's funny. And I'm like, no, what's funny is when I fuck you up.
Yeah, because if you would have beat somebody's ass, then somebody would have called the cops.
The last time I was in Madison...
Sorry, I'm not to cut you off, but that's really, like, there's a difference between ribbing and just being...
disrespect.
Yeah, and I would have flipped my shit if I was you. So I get that. Yeah.
They used to piss in my bag.
I remember
shit in my
them doing
bag.
that to people, yeah.
And it was just all they were and probably still are, and I'm open about it.
They don't do stuff
And
like that anymore.
If they want to talk to me about it,
Yeah.
I probably will listen to them, but I won't give a fuck about what they got to say.
I understand.
Because that's not respect, and that's very
Yeah.
and I don't see them changing.
Dude, that's the thing, like I was saying about, like, I had issues with the place for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because the way I felt like they treated young kids. And I'm glad you
Yeah.
brought that up because back in the day, it was a bad place.
Yeah.
Like, if you're breaking in the business, it was a horrible place. That's why I stopped going there for years. But, like, me and Draven, and I think a lot of things change. And a few of the people that were really bad bullies are now, like, actually, a couple of them are my friends. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, me and Cashflow talked about this, too.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it on the record, but he's just telling me, like, some of the stuff that happened when he was coming up, and I was just like, yeah, I mean, if that happened to me, I'd be okay with it. I was like, but what they were doing to me in Madison with Eric Draven, and all Eric Draven and half of those fucking people up there are just goofs that never will make it and will always be a superstar in their own eyes. And nobody pays to see that shit. And I will hold stand to it because, I mean, for the longest time I had heat with OVW because I thought the product was going to hell, and nobody would pay to when they started charging people, and then. But I mean, I get it now. Like I totally get it now. But back then, how they were treating the fans, like I guess because I was a smart ass and a smart mark, so
Yeah.
And they never really did nothing bad to me, but. They barred me out a few times.
What?
Yeah, I
what
got
did you
kicked out
do?
I got into a fight one time.
Hold on, with who? Who'd you get a fight with?
Fan, and then the second time I got in a fight with my roommate up at OVW. And this was like
Hold on, which roommate? Is this something you can talk about on here? Or is this something you're going to edit out?
No, we can talk about it. I got in a fight with Devin Lakes.
Devin Lakes?
Yeah,
Who is
he
that?
was Cody's roommate. He was Cody's friend from up
What was his wrestling name?
He never wrestled. He wasn't a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
We were up there watching Cody wrestle.
And he just...
And we were outside, and he just started talking shit and tried to choke me, and we got into a fight.
Hold up.
It was
What year was this? Because I think I actually remember this now.
2008 or 9, maybe.
Okay. I think I was there
Something
for
like
this.
that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I broke my hand. That was the second time I broke my hand. And I broke it on his face.
Oh.
I ended up healing it, and then he was like, yo, you want to go back at it? And he's like, just for fun, just box. And I was like, you don't want this smoke.
You don't want round two, bro.
Yeah.
No, we're good. Let's not do this.
We ended up doing it.
Oh, okay.
And I ended up busting his eye open pretty bad. But no.
Fun times, man.
So after Madison, where did you end up going and training or reffing?
I mean,
whatever?
so obviously, like Marcus's thing had to shut down. I forgot what all happened, but like they weren't running anymore. So then I ran into my dad ran into Fudd.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
And so, because down at Evo, my dad worked down there forever, ran into him down there, and, he got their contact info or whatever. And so, because this was like MySpace days, so like some people weren't even on that. Like, that's how long ago this shit was, right?
Holy shit. This dates
Yes. That's why when it kills me, because people think because I'm in my 20s, they think, oh, like I don't have all this time. I'm like, man, I'm at like young grizzled vet status. You know what I mean? Like I've been in this game for a while. Like I think they just think, oh, yeah, just started a couple years ago with OVW, and that's the time you had to visit. No, dude, like I've put in my time, and I've traveled, and I've gone on the road for 3 or 4 days a week and stuff. Like I think people just think of me as just like a local 40 miler. You know what I mean? Like I used to do all that stuff of traveling and doing the drives, like they say. But no, like, so I started going up to Madison, and then, like I said, after I got out of high school, I stopped going to Madison, and then I started traveling with Pondo a lot. So like Pondo, Mickey, and Jimmy a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like Pondo's like helped me get a lot of like bookings outside of the state at first. So it's like I look up to Pondo like a wrestling dad. You know what I mean?
Pondo's great,
dude. Some of the best times with Pondo, for real.
We will talk about some Pondo in second half. Like we talked about it on his episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So he got you West Virginia. He got you what? Where else? Illinois, Ohio,
yeah, like
Indiana,
just wherever. We went to like North Carolina one time.
Oh shit!
Me, him, and Jimmy did.
Were you the $5 ref?
I did before a couple times. Just hey man, you might as well.
Hey, that's
have fun, right? Wrestling
that was fun.
Look,
supposed to be fun.
It is fun. What are you talking about? Wrestling to me is, if you're not having fun, why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Because if I'm not having fun, let me go have a regular job. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna enjoy my time with wrestling. If it becomes something where it feels like a shoot job, I'm not gonna do it. If it adds stress to my life, if it's not something that's fun, I'm not gonna mess with it. You know what I mean? Like, why would I?
It's a career. Wrestling is a career, not a job.
That's how it should be treated. Yes.
Yeah, because you have a career. A career is something that you enjoy doing. A job is something you do just to live or to pay bills. And if you're reffing, or if you're in any kind of entertainment, if you're doing it just to pay the bills, then you're in it for the wrong reasons.
I agree.
And you should be doing it for fun. And that's like, I've kind of itched that scratch here recently, trying to get back into for a few places because I miss it. I miss it a whole lot. I don't have to wrestle.
Hold on. You're admitting now to me that you actually miss it? Because this is the first time you're even exposing this to me, man.
Yeah. What? I miss it. I miss it a lot. Like, I love like I like hosting shows and getting to talk to artists and things like that. But I also miss the wrestling business. I don't miss the politics. I do not, because I'm not a politician. By no means.
We've talked about this. Yeah. I'm not a politician either. And that's what bites me in the ass a lot. Because, especially as a female, like, I feel like a lot of females, they try to, God, I'm not trying to be like this. But
no,
I'm just, you know how it is. I'm not trying to use my ass, and I'm not going to use my sexuality and this and that to get over.
Yeah.
And I also don't use my sexual orientation to get over either. And that's something I feel like a lot of people do right now. And that's frustrating. Like,
yeah. And then they want to holler, me too. I'm like, nah, you put yourself in that position. You know what you were doing to get to where you're going. And then because you did it and it got you where you want to be, now you're going to be like, oh, well, me too. No, fuck you.
Yeah.
You did this. And that goes both ways. That's men and women.
Oh, yeah.
Because these people that want to, these people that do the things that they do, and then want to call their spouse, because it typically turns into a relationship.
Oh, yeah.
A groomer. No, they weren't grooming you to do what you're doing.
You saw it. You picked your spot to try to get over.
Yeah, and some people get to WWE that way. I don't know.
There's plenty of people that I feel like there's definitely lots of people in it. I mean, there's men that do it too. We've talked about this, obviously, like you said. Yeah. But I will never compromise who I am. I will never compromise who I am as a person to get an opportunity. I will never kiss ass to get an opportunity.
Because your work should show and
Thank you.
Be enough.
And you know I have enough pride.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna put myself down to that level. Like, even if you do that kissing ass only gets you so far. You know what I mean? I want people to remember Charlene and go, man, Charlene, she was a bitch, but once you got to know her, she was cool as fuck. And if you put her on any kind of show,
that said that. So.
Bro, yes, you have. Shut up, because I know it happens all the time. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's my girl. That's Charlene.
No.
Yeah, exactly." But I just want people to go, man. Charlene McKenzie, Charlene Mcanally, whatever, has the best work rate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want people to know me for my work ethic, and I don't want them to think, "Oh man, she's only there because she became buddies with this person or she did that." No, I want my work to show for it.
Yeah.
So,
and I'd say And I'm going to say that it has, because it went from you working shindies to now being one of the main referees on a national broadcasted wrestling show. Live wrestling
there you
show.
Go.
You got to add the live.
You know that, like, we're, like, the only, like, outside of AEW and WWE that does... No, Impact doesn't even do live.
No?
No. We do live television. WWE and AEW does.
No shit.
Yes. And I also have done a bunch of stuff with Impact, too.
Yeah, I seen that. You did some stuff with Rosemary or Mary something.
Yeah, I did it on the pay-per-view on my birthday last year. That was pretty cool.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now you were playing footsies with me.
Oh, dude, I didn't even... Sorry, man. I just got a little excited talking about my accomplishments in wrestling, you know?
No, but that's great, because you have accomplished a lot within I would say a short amount of time, because, I mean, I left the business because I was getting fed up with the politics.
I understand.
And I loved it. I got to wrestle Brutus the Barber Beefcake out in Chillicothe, Ohio.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Which was super cool.
That was a fun road trip, man.
I got to share the ring, or share the locker room with Brickhouse Brown, the Headbangers. What?
Hey, I just remembered something we can bring up right now.
Oh, God.
New Focus, man. We got to do that heel stable together.
New Focus. Oh,
yes!
shit.
It was like
Gypsy
Cody,
Joe. Gypsy Joe.
Yep.
No, we wrestled Gypsy Joe.
That's what it was.
Yeah, because I asked Gypsy Joe to chop me.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he was like, okay. And then he chopped me, and I was expecting to get my chest caved in, and he hit me pretty hard.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for a 90-year-old man at that time...
He wasn't that old, was he?
I don't know.
He's like, probably like late 70s.
Late 70s. But, I mean, for someone that age hit me like a ton of bricks. And I was like, God damn, brother. Because Chris Champion's the one.
That was in our group. Yes.
Yeah,
and he's gone now, too, right?
Chris
Champion?
He's
dead? Yeah.
No.
I'm pretty sure he died.
No way.
I would text Pondo, but I don't want to call static.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. I didn't know Chris Champion passed.
I'm pretty sure he passed, unless I'm tripping. You know who would know? Van would know, too.
Who?
Van. Sebastian.
Oh, yeah, I don't talk to Sebastian. I haven't talked to Sebastian in a while. I only talk to him when I see him, though.
Yeah, I get that. It's one of those people you don't, like, actively ever like, hey, brother, how are you, man?
Yeah, brother.
Brother.
But, no, I mean, I have no ill will towards him. I just don't ever see
I
him,
get
so
that.
I don't ever talk to him.
Yeah.
But that's somebody we should talk about, yeah.
What?
I mean, talk to about, like,
okay,
ask him. We don't have to talk about Sebastian.
Okay, I thought you were going to say talk about him right now, because, man, we could say some stories about him, too, man.
Oh, God, I'd prefer
that would be a whole episode.
Mercy, that guy is wild, because we sure have come across a few characters within the business, which I mean, you got to be a character to be a wrestler. You have to have some personality. Some have more than others.
That's for sure, man. We don't need no vanilla people in this business.
God, I mean, we have a bunch. I mean,
there is a lot of people that are very awkward and vanilla, and you're just like,
until they get outside of
they break that shit. You got to break that shell, man. You got to corrupt them.
Well, I've seen some people that are very vanilla behind scenes, but they go through that curtain, they become a whole different person.
Yeah.
But then you have some people that are vanilla as fuck behind, and they go out and it's just like, you're vanilla as fuck. You should probably be like, I don't know, a commentator, ring announcer, or
ring announcer, maybe not commentary, because you need to have some flavor, man.
Yeah, I guess you have to have flavor to have commentary too. Maybe they could be a fan.
Yeah, that would be good. Or, maybe like a ring girl. Just put them in a wig and stuff.
Do they still do ring girls?
Some places do, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a show I go to. Well, I haven't been to in a while, but like they have like ring girls, and like it looks like an MMA fight. Like they have like the cart, like the boards and all that, man. And I'm like, if you think about it, it's smart to do that, because.
In what way is it smart? Like,
I mean, because people want to see attractive women. Whoa. I mean, do you want to see unattractive people when you go to a show? Any form of entertainment? Let's be honest.
Are we talking about on stage, or are we talking about out in the crowd? Because every time I go to a wrestling show, it's like 1 in 100 attractive people that are in that crowd, and I'm 90% of the time, I am that one person that's attractive in that entire crowd. But now on stage, of course,
if people could see the look I'm giving you right now, they'd be like, What the?
Nah, I went complete hill on that, and I didn't mean to.
No, it's okay, Braxton Cade.
Oh, mercy. Braxton Cade. I forgot. Who's that? That guy does even...
I feel like you had a different... Oh, what was the other one?
Jarek Spade.
Jarek Spade. And then there was Jagger or something.
Jarek Jaggers.
Yes.
Yeah, Cody told me, he was like, you need to change your name. I was like, all right. And then Johnny Spade told me to change my name. And that's why I went to Jarek Jaggers. And then I didn't like Jarek Jaggers because it just...
Related to Mick Jaggers or something, man?
Yeah, that, and then whatever. And then I went Braxton Cade, and...
You sound like an R&B singer from the 90s, bro. What's her name? Tony Braxton?
Tony Braxton. And what's his name that bought out SCW used to say that to me all the time.
Matt Douglas.
Man,
Matt Douglas.
Oh, are you Tony Braxton? I'm like, yeah, that joke was old 5 years ago.
Can we talk about that guy?
Matt Douglas?
I love Matt Douglas.
Let's talk about Matt Douglas.
Matt Douglas, man. So, Matt Douglas, like, I know he had a lot of heat with different people, but, like, I've always been treated well by Matt Douglas. I like the dude, man. And I feel like if he ran a show in a bigger city, he might have had more luck. You know what I mean? And it could have been something good because, like, he knew how to promote. Only thing I will say, it was obnoxious listening to Beach Boys during intermission every single show, though. I will say that because I was like, bro, we need something else. This is putting people to sleep, man.
Yeah. Matt Douglas, I don't dislike the guy, but I don't hate him. But he was another reason why I left. Because he was showing favoritism to a lot of people, and I'd be one of those people that would be there before the show.
I remember now.
Training, setting up the ring, tearing down the ring. Well, if not Madison, because Madison you didn't have to tear down.
Yeah, D1W, obviously.
D1W. I would be the first one there, the last one to leave, but then you'd have these yardards that came in that was politicking and never set up the ring, never tore down the ring, never set up chairs, and they're getting matches on the card. And I'm just like, yo, bro, what? All we need you is security tonight. I'm like...
Did they travel with people, though, too?
They lived in Indiana. They didn't... The only way they traveled is from their front yard to the fucking parking lot.
Hey, if they're backyard wrestlers, I mean, they travel from their backyard, sir. Get it right?
Oh, yeah. They traveled from their backyard.
If you're going to insult them, at least, like, get this correct.
Yeah.
Come on.
I mean, I'm not trying to insult, but it's just like, it was bullshit.
I understand, man.
He did the same thing up in Madison, other than, like, I mean, I didn't have to tear down the ring, but I would be up there first and be the last one to leave, picking brains. And, like, he did get rid of a lot of the turds that worked for that company, thankfully. But then he started, I don't know. I seen him a few years ago.
Did you?
And he came in. He goes, "Man, I really wish you stuck to wrestling. You had the heart for it. You had the passion for it or something, but you just didn't have the determination." And I was just like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was like, I was always the first one there and the last one to leave.
Yeah. I
was there before the doors, before you unlocked the door, and I was one of the last people that walked out with you.
I think you're the thing why wrestling didn't pan out well for you back in the day, to be honest, is I think when you were younger, you were more opinionated and outspoken. And now the older that we get, I'm the one that's like that. I'm more opinionated and I'm more outspoken, even though I was like that when I was younger. But I kept my mouth shut because I'm like, I'm so young and green in the business. I got to be respectful. And now I'm like, no, man, this is messed up. And this is why this is messed up. And if you got an issue with it, you can discuss this with me like adults. Yeah. And then that comes across like me being a, we already talked about this. So, yeah. Yeah. I'm just very high strung anyway on certain things. And I'm just... Like I said, it's just my personality. Like, I'm just a hardworking person, and I don't put up with any BS, So it sometimes bites me, definitely bites me in the ass.
Well, I mean, that's something Pondo was telling me. He was just like, he's like, yeah, well, when I voice my opinion, I voice my opinion like this, but when you voice your opinion, you're very loud. And I'm like...
That reminds me of the party of when you got drunk.
Oh, we talked about that too.
Did he bring that up so I can repeat this?
I did, but yeah, I don't understand why I told him I grew up.
I grew up in a white neighborhood.
Yeah, and I didn't. And
you had it really hard, didn't you? That white neighborhood, being white.
Yeah, I did. I guess because identify as a black man. I'm assuming that night. I have no idea. I don't know where that came from.
John, I've been around you so long, and you just get like, we've seen each other. Like, we've talked to each other out a lot of situations and just a lot of stuff anyway, because, like, you know what I mean? We're just close. So
yeah. I've
seen you do a lot of stupid stuff. You've seen me do a lot of stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. Everybody gets drunk and acts stupid sometimes. So, you got any fun drunken memories of me now that we're talking about drinking? Anything that's not too, like, something that you can actually share in here that's not too bad? And then I high five a lot when I've been drinking. We know that.
You definitely high five a lot when you're drinking.
It's weird.
I can't really think of anything off the top of my head because majority of the time
you're probably drunk too.
I was drinking too, so yeah. I don't remember a lot of it. Yeah, I can't say that I have, but like way more people have more stories of me being drunk than I have of them. Yeah,
the headbutts and the inhaler. We will not repeat that story on here.
Fucking dog.
Wow, you're bringing it up. I wasn't going to put it on there because that could be really, really bad. No. I mean, I wouldn't press charges. It's okay. It was like, she's fine. It was like 15 years ago.
Your dog fucking chewed up my inhaler and I was having an asthma attack. The first thing I thought of was, boom, I headbutted the dog. That was it.
Good thing it wasn't hard, though. It was just like a
wrestler head.
Yeah, it was a worked headbutt.
God, I grabbed her by the forehead and went, hit my thumb and what is it, Bell or was it
Bella?
Bella, yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking mutt.
Hey, don't talk shit about my dog.
Jill would tear her up. I don't know why Jill allowed Bella to tear up my shit.
I don't know, man.
Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up.
We'll have to talk about that later. Me and the dog, not.
Yeah.
But that's 15 years ago. I
10 years ago. She's like 11, so I'll just say she's probably 10. Crazy, right, man?
Yeah, well, yeah. It's so far in the past, I do not hold it against her anymore. And I don't even think I held it against her long enough because I'm pretty sure after I headbutted her, I was like, I'm so sorry. I just can't breathe. And you tore up the one thing that I needed. Yeah, that was stupid.
Oh, man. Do you remember? Oh, there's another. I got a story.
Go ahead. Let's talk about
it. It was like, this was a while ago. It was like me, you, Leslie were over there. And then my ex was there.
Brittany?
Yeah. We don't talk about it. Why did you even put her name on there? I just said my ex. We just refer to her as the ex.
Okay.
Yeah. She doesn't. That's all you got to do. Ain't no point to edit it out, but whatever her name is, there's somebody named X. So the ex was there, and her friends were there too, and we were having a 4th of July little get together. And remember we had that light stick war in the basement?
No.
You do not remember this?
No. Was I drunk?
You might have been drunk. Oh, that would explain. Yes, you had to be drunk because that church parking lot across the street from me. A lot of memories in that church parking lot, by the way. But you decided you were going to shoot a Roman candle at me.
Okay.
And this is what makes me mad about this, okay? That's why we're bringing this up right now.
It's a Roman candle fight. That's fine.
No, this is why it pisses me off, bro. Because you know that cruise I go on with my mom every year, the rock and roll cruise?
Yeah.
You burnt a hole in it. Yes, you burnt a hole in my... Sorry, I didn't say that correctly. You burnt a hole in my rock and roll cruise t-shirt.
Oh. I
dude,
put the hole in what?
Man, all the time I'd bring that up to the ex. I'd be like, man, John Clark's a jerk, man. He burnt a hole in my t-shirt from the cruise. And she was like, oh, I'll fix it for you. I'll sew it up. Yeah, that never happened. I should take that. No.
The ex.
Yeah, the ex. So, yeah, a lot of empty promises from that one. But I should probably just go to the dry cleaner and like be like, hey, can y'all patch this up for me? I really like that shirt. And you burnt a hole in it, and it makes me mad. Okay, I just had to bring that out. I've been holding this in for 5 years.
It's been longer than 5 years. It's been at least 7.
No, because... maybe 6, because...
I was still with my ex when that party happened.
You didn't remember the party at first, and now
you remember.
I
remember 4th of July going over there, but you said that we had a Roman candle fight in the basement.
Not a Roman candle fight in the basement, across the street in the parking lot.
Yeah, I remember that.
We were throwing glow sticks in the basement, all of us, across the basement.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe you were... Yeah, you must have been messed up.
No, because I remember everything that night, but I don't remember. I thought you were saying that we had a Roman candle fight in your basement.
That would be pretty lit, man.
I do not remember that. I was like, that is something I was not a part of because I wasn't there. I don't light fireworks off in the house.
Oh, man, one of my neighbors, bro. Do you remember that neighbor I had across the street? Kind of creeper, man.
I remember you having a bunch of junkies that lived across the street.
What?
Yeah, lived in the house next to the church.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't consider them junkies, but, like, they were just wild. I mean, like, one time he came over, and it was probably around the same time, and he decided he was going to shoot off firecrackers in my basement.
What's up, babe? You're on an episode of Crackin Claws.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What you doing?
We're recording Crackin Claws.
Oh, what are you talking about?
Go ahead.
Currently, we're talking about my neighbor from across the street. He lit off firecrackers in my basement. We had to kick him out at like 4 a.m. I was pissed.
Not me, the neighbor. That was the neighbor, not me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like your behavior.
What the fuck?
Oh, I did bring up the fact that he shot a Roman candle at me, and I was wearing my this cruise I go on, the T-shirt from the cruise I go on every year, and burns a hole in the shirt. And I haven't spoke to him about this until now. I've been holding this in for 5 years, and I feel good that I finally let it out.
You say 5. It's been longer than 5.
Dude, it's 5 or 6. There's no way it's been longer than 6 years, though.
But I don't know. I think it's been longer than 5 or 6. There has to be somewhere along that. When did you and the ex start?
It was,
because I think it was
like 2015.
When you all first
summer.
started.
Yeah, so it was 6 years. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was like,
Yeah,
man.
unfortunately, I spent a lot of time in that situation.
No, I mean,
But
you learn
learning
from it.
lessons, man, I feel like, especially the older you get, man, now that we're talking about all this stuff, like I said, I don't normally, on podcasts, I just stick to wrestling, but, like, me and you are, like, best friends, so we can talk about some real personal stuff,
Yeah.
man. And, I mean, we've talked about it, like, I thought that was the person I was going to marry and all this, and I'm just grateful now that, I'm grateful for the spot I am currently in my life. Like, I'm just trying to figure out who I am, now that my dad's gone and stuff like that, and I'm just focused on myself, you know what I mean? Which is what it should be. I should be worried about myself, and I feel like you focus so hard when you're in a relationship too. I feel like we're always trying to focus on the other person's happiness.
Yeah.
And I didn't focus on myself. I didn't do things I wanted to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I just focused on that person, and it wasn't good for me. Now looking back on it, it's like it wasn't good for my mental health. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely. So when did you find out, or when did you figure out that you were attracted to the other, or to the same sex, not the other sex? There's only 2 sex, by the way.
God, this is getting real personal, but
Well,
we're like we said, man, we're best friends. We can talk about this
all
stuff,
right.
and this is the only time I'm ever going to talk about anything like this.
Because you're
Is with
gay,
you.
right?
Hey, I always joke with people. I'm like, I'm 75% gay, 25% like still like into dudes, but like I haven't kissed a guy in like. You want to take a guess how long it's been? Just take a guess. How long?
7 years, 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been that long. Yeah, like before I got with my ex. So it's been a while. But I mean, not to say that like I'm not attracted to men. It's just a female body is way more attractive in my opinion. Like,
Yeah. Me too. I agree.
yeah, I bet you do feel like that, man. You got 2 kids, so you definitely feel like a female body is way more attractive than a male body.
100%. I got 2 fuck trophies.
Yeah. Got to practice, right?
I don't practice enough. I only shoot every once in a while, and that's how I got 2 kids. I don't practice.
No, I found out, I'd say it was probably 19 or 20. I'm not going to lie. When I was like younger, I had dreams about women, but I was just like, it's just dreams. Nothing about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then like, there's a couple times like, I guess I didn't realize that I was into girls more than like as friends. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then, especially when I broke into wrestling, everybody was like, man, Charlene has to be gay. Like, everybody was always like, you're going to come out with a mullet,
I wish you would.
flannel shirt, and combat boots, right? I'm going to be a trucker. I'm still, I haven't filled that all the way out. I do sometimes wear flannel shirts.
Nuh-uh.
Bro, yeah, I just wore one on like Saturday night, actually. Yeah. I wear flannel occasionally. You know what I mean? I think it's just like, if you like women, it's just like a requirement. Like, either
it's
you have
a requirement.
Yes, in a weird way it has to be. Especially if you're the dominant kind. Like let's be real. Like, I'm the one I'm into sports. You know what I mean? Like, I take more of the masculine one. Yeah. Even if emotionally I'm not, because I'm a little, I've gone through a lot of trauma here recently. We talked about this. So I'm a little bit in more of a vulnerable spot in my life. And that's okay. We all go through stuff and it makes us who we are, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a tomboy. I've always been like that. You know what I mean? Since you know me.
I've always thought you were a tomboy.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't say I'm full on, like, people, I hate to say stuff like this because I don't want to come across offensive, but I wouldn't say I'm straight up butch. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not cutting my hair off or anything crazy like that. Like, I'm the kind of chick that, like, you see me on the weekend, I might be wearing basketball shorts, but I'm not, I don't feel like I have any kind of, I'm comfortable with myself now. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I know what I want in life and things like that, and I'm not, like, I don't think I was born in the wrong, but because I know a lot of people in you know what I mean, in the gay community, there's some that feel like they're born in the wrong body and things like that. Like, I don't feel like that or anything like that. I just know
you're a chick that's into chicks.
Yes, like, man, you give me some titties in my face, man, it's heaven.
Very simple.
Yes,
and that's something I don't agree with. What's been going? Not that I don't agree with you being gay. I know you're homophobic, man. Oh, get the fuck out of here. So homophobic that I want to work at a gay bar in my man thong.
For real?
100%.
Dude, make that money.
You'd
be such a teddy bear, bro. Do it.
I'm a bear. I'm a chubby, bearded dude.
There you go.
And I have no problem with it. Like, Brandy's the only one that's like, I don't think you should because, there's straight girls that go there. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like, I'm coming home to you.
And that's all that should matter.
I'm like, I want to do an OnlyFans and aim it towards dudes.
Dude, I'm going to do OnlyFans. You know what I'm going to do?
What?
Play Assassin's Creed all day.
Mercy. Holy shit. People are into that. But no, like, what I meant is this whole movement of, we're hated on. We have no equality. And it's just like, well, when you make a fucking scene about it, people are going to be bitching about it. So if you just be
we talked about this, I feel like, before, man. Like, now that we're talking about this, man, like, that's one thing. It's cool to be...
It's cool to be you.
It's cool to be you.
You like who you like.
But that's like, people get upset about straight men. Like, I'm straight white men. I'm just being honest. Like, people get upset about that. I'm like...
a fucking target on my back.
But that stuff is upsetting because it's like, if that's what you want to do, and you want to go protest for gay rights and all this, that's cool. But I've never felt like in my life, my 29 years on this earth, I've never felt like I've been oppressed.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's some people that might judge me for liking women. And you know what? I just weed them out. I don't need that in my life. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. If you don't like my lifestyle and you don't like me, then that's cool. And I don't have to like you. Yeah. Like, you can go your own way. I'll go my own way. Like, if you think I'm going to go to hell because I like women, that's cool. But I feel like I'm going to live my life. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be miserable. Why would I be miserable?
Right. And I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was like, he brought up, a lot of his comrades know that he's a Black Panther. And he looked at me, and I was like, okay. Yeah. Like, did you expect me not to like you? Cause,
did you think I was going to be like, oh.
I'm like, okay,
you don't like white people because you're a Black Panther or something? Like, you know what I mean?
Because I know he likes black people. We talk.
Yeah.
We talk all the time.
For sure.
And, none of that bothers me. Like, live your life. If that's what you want to do, if it doesn't involve me and it doesn't hurt me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I will say something, though, now we've been talking about all this, like, you know what I mean, about me being gay and this and that. Like, I think it's awesome now that there are wrestling companies that, you know what I mean, are all gay. Like, that's pretty cool, too. You know what I mean? Like, stuff like that's cool.
But that discriminates the straight people that want to wrestle for that company. That's not okay.
Do you feel like that's not right because it's being like, we're not going to include you, but you want to be treated the same? I get what you mean.
You want to be treated equally, but then you can be like, oh, you're not gay, you can't wrestle for this company.
Hey, you made it sound like Mean Girls. You can't sit at our table.
Yeah, like what? Like, I don't. my table is so big, I don't care.
Yeah.
Now, there's some people I don't want to eat at my table.
But I'm not going to wish harm on them. I get what you mean.
Go get fed, go make your money. You can't sit at my table because we have a disagreement.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with sexuality, religion, or anything. It's a personal
that's another thing,
thing,
too. Like, when it comes to religion, I don't understand people that, like, don't like people because of their religious beliefs. Like, if you're Christian, you're Muslim, you're Jewish, whatever, man. Like, there's, like, for all we know, we could all be wrong about this whole thing. You know what I mean? That's how...
The Jewish and the Muslim community have been going at it since...
Thousands of years, yeah.
Millions.
Yeah. Millions, come on now. I know what you meant, bro. It's okay.
For eternity. They've been... Which, for whatever reason, I don't... It doesn't
it's over the Holy Land and all that stuff, too.
It doesn't impact
that's
my
all
life.
I know.
Yeah, it doesn't
There's
impact
more,
my
probably.
life, so I don't really let them deal with it amongst themselves.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I've got Jewish friends, I've got Muslim friends. If they don't like each other, they don't have to be around each other. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Up until recently, your political views, I remember them always being, you vote for who you vote for, and it not be publicized. It's always been like not necessarily a secret, but it's like you vote in secrecy. There's a thing that divides you.
Oh, yeah.
It keeps you from, for people, and you just never talked about it. Now it's just like...
Who'd you vote for?
Yeah.
Who'd you vote for? It's like, I
and
don't
if
want
you
to
say
talk
you
about
vote
it
for this
because,
person,
yes,
then
then
you're
they
a
look at
scum.
you. Yes.
I'm like-
And then if you vote for the other person, you're thinking, well, I don't agree with that either. Like, you know what I mean?
It's like, dude, live your fucking
yeah,
life.
man. I just wish with politics, like, when it comes to both sides of things, like, there's things I can agree with on both sides. There's things I can disagree with on both sides.
Yeah.
And I'm going to leave it at that because there's sometimes I lean one way. There's sometimes I lean another way. You know what I mean?
Just like my cock. Sometimes it leans to the left. Sometimes it leans to the right. I don't give a fuck. It depends on how I feel that day. Or it feels that day.
There you go. Hey, so since we touched up on something controversial, I want to bring up something else controversial and touch up on.
What? You ain't touching my cock.
Whoa. I definitely don't want to see that belt buckle.
So what you want to talk about?
So, do you remember when we, with some assistance of someone, snuck into the gathering?
Vaguely. I don't mean, we didn't sneak in. We had bracelets.
Hey, let me tell you something, brother.
What?
I've always been a good kid, so let me have this rebel moment and act like I snuck into a music festival. That's pretty much Woodstock of our generation, okay?
No, that would be Louder Than Life. The Gathering of the Juggalos isn't.
No, because Woodstock people did a lot of drugs, and when I think of the gathering, I think of people doing a lot of drugs. Yes, okay?
Yeah.
Louder Than Life is like, oh, yes, we're going to go to a concert all day. We're going to go home. This is camping.
You don't think people don't... They get camping at Louder Than Life.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess because it's in Louisville, I'll just go home like a normal person and not use a porta potty all night. Because, that is a big fear of mine, man. Did you know
Germs?
that? Because I'm such a germaphobe, dude.
Yeah.
I cannot stand porta potties. Like, I will avoid them at all costs. I will hold my bladder for 5 hours.
Mercy.
Dude, no, it's something I don't do.
But yeah, I remember we were at New Focus.
And we packed our bags when we left Louisville because we thought...
Well, we were supposed to... We were wrestling in New Focus, and I don't even think we had a bag ready to go to the gathering because I wasn't sure.
It was a last minute thing because we thought about maybe going because we're like... Because Cody talked about it before we left Louisville.
Yeah, you're right.
And so we got bags prepared just in case and brought some food.
Yeah.
And then Guido,
it was like, hey, we got extra wristbands.
and then he squeezed them off his arms or whatever because they had the necklaces. So we got those bracelets, right? And they pretty much
we got lost down the road.
Yes.
It was like
the title of this episode should be "Where's the Ferry?"
Where's the? You were like Jimmy Clough. I was like, Jesus Christ, mercy.
Did I really say that?
No, it said take the ferry. It was either you or Cody was like Jimmy Clough.
I don't know who said that, but I do remember us sitting there, and it was on my GPS because I think we took my old GPS, and it went, and 1,000 feet, take the ferry, and it was like 3 in the morning, no ferry anywhere to be seen, no cars, and then we had to drive like Dude, I think we had to end up driving like another 2 hours just to get there at that point. God, that sucked.
Because we were literally across the fucking river.
We could see like the lights from it. Do you remember that?
Yep, and that
How
was
disappointing.
a fucking bitch. It sucked. But the Gathering of the Juggalos was so much fun.
It was a fun experience, man.
The
Like,
second year was out of this world.
we ran into each other like 10 minutes after being there, though, man.
Yeah, because I think, I don't even know who I was with. And this was
Eric,
Crackin Dawn.
Eric Gerard and all them? Am I saying the right name?
Is that who I went with?
Redhead
and then I
guy?
ran into you?
I think so.
Eric Gerard and Cody.
Yeah, we had walkies, and we ended up somehow talking on the same channels to each other like most of the weekend.
Yeah, and we met right there by the main
we got those
stage.
pictures, bro. We have those pictures of me and you on Jimmy and somebody else's shoulders. Do you not remember that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. This is
I
bringing
think I
back
was
so
on
many
Jimmy
memories.
Clough's. I don't know.
I think I was on Jimmy's shoulders, actually.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't on Tall Girl's shoulders because she weighed every bit of 10 pounds. There's no way I was.
Dude, can we talk about Pondo's girlfriends, man? He's gone from dating a midget to like giant. Like, it's wild, man. Pondo's an interesting man. He's lived a cool life. I will say that.
I definitely enjoyed our podcast. Me and him discussed we're going to do a second episode so we could touch up on if Godzilla beat Godzilla, if he beat Kong or if Kong beat Godzilla, and then I want to touch up on more about his death matches, which I didn't touch up on a lot at all, which that was one of the main things people were like, well, we thought we were going to listen to him talk about deathmatch, and I was like, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah,
on the
you can
next
get to it.
episode.
Yeah,
like we're definitely talking about it. I just didn't bring it up in that episode. But yeah, dude, I love Pondo. You know how Tracy Smothers has kids? I think Pondo has
wrestling kids. Yeah,
too.
he does too. Yeah,
he's one of those guys, and will go down in history being like one of the coolest, mean-looking guys.
that like once you get to know him, he's like amazing and will like help you get all kinds of opportunity. You know what I mean? Like he's never had to help me with the stuff he's helped me with, and I'm just grateful like that he's gave
out of
me
the kindness of his heart.
Yes.
He does.
And I think people think because
take
he's
it for granted.
and I think too people just think because how long he's been in the business that he's corny, and it's like everybody has corny moments, but he doesn't do it to get over. He's just doing it just to be a good person. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think and I'm not going to say that he isn't corny. I haven't seen that side of him.
I mean, I've been out in public and we've done some like goofball ribbish stuff, but not.
That's funny.
That's not to me isn't corny. You know what I mean? Like I can tell you some like. I'd have to think about them, which ones I think would be appropriate to say on here. But I can tell you some Pondo ribs, and they're some of the best ones, man.
I love Pondo, and like I was telling him, getting to watch him wrestle, having the opportunity to wrestle with him, and then getting to talk to him on semi-regular basis it's been great. And we talked about that time we went ghost hunting out at Father Fear's house.
Yes, that's what you were talking about. When you told me that the other day, I was confused. But now I know what you're talking about.
When
yes.
You were down by the road and
I started screaming, I remember. I was freaking out.
He used the taser to summon the ghost.
Yes.
And I'm like, dude, he's such a fool for that.
Were you there the night? So that might have been the same night that Justin came over.
Blaze or Justin Burton?
Burton came over, and we all were sitting at the table.
Go ahead.
Do you remember this? Do you know what I'm talking about? What I'm about to bring up because it's hilarious.
Because didn't he get mad and leave?
Yes.
Okay, then yes.
Okay, so we're all sitting at the table. It's like Father Fear, Ginger's ex-wife, me. I feel like you were there.
I was definitely there. Mickey
Pondo
Knuckles,
was there. Mickey.
Jimmy
I think
Clough.
Sarah was there.
Yep.
And we're all sitting there, and she got the Wicca book out, and we all started acting like we were
possessed.
Yes. And so we put a rooster in the middle of the living room, and somebody, who was it? It was I think Sarah or Mickey was behind the door. It was a female, or it could have been Ginger. I know, but it wasn't me. And so when he walks through the door, we close the door behind him, and we go, "We've been waiting on you, Justin." And dude, he freaking flipped the fuck out and ran out the door, dude. I've never seen somebody so scared in their life. It was the funniest shit.
Man.
But he gets, because do you talk about any kind of witchcraft stuff around him? He does not joke around about that stuff.
He's just scared. And I mean, I don't fuck around with paranormal stuff either. Because it scares me, but like, we were all just having fun and he was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Justin and I don't care too much for one another.
I understand.
But, I mean, I'm civil with him. He's civil with me.
Same. I'm civil with him. You know what I mean?
He's one of those people that can't eat at my table, but I definitely want him to eat.
Yes.
Just don't bring your scrubs or crumbs to my table.
I understand.
Or don't be picking scraps up, because he's one of those guys that kind of want to pick up scraps after others.
Okay.
We're not going to touch any further on that. No.
All right.
So, let's get back to wrestling. So, is it being openly homosexual, gay, lesbian, or whatever, does that affect any of the way you're treated at OVW or like?
Definitely not at OVW.
They treat you more like a boy, though. I mean, like,
man, everybody treats me like the boy because like I'm one of those girls that like we're homies. Like you can say like after the show, you know, if it's somebody like business wise, we'll say like, you know what I mean, like referees and announcers and stuff like that. Like, hey, Charlene, you want to go out to the bar? Heck yeah, I want to go hang out. Let's go do something together.
Let's go fucking go, bro.
Yeah. Like I'm one of the guys. I'm not somebody like I've never been somebody's girlfriend that was in the locker room. Does that make sense? So I'm treated differently. You know what I mean?
Were you afraid to come out, or how? So what made that decision for you?
I was more afraid to come out to
family?
My friends and family than wrestling. Like I really didn't.
Rest assured, we already knew. We knew before you did.
Okay, so that picture that I posted right with my dad, the one of me like real small. Have you seen it where it's like I'm like probably 8 or 9
with brown hair and
and I got that Hawaiian shirt on.
That shirt.
Have you seen that?
Okay, yes, white shorts.
It was
yes, I've seen that.
Like I'm in khaki shorts. That should have been the first sign. I'll show you this picture later. That should have been the first sign at a very young age that I was going to be that I would like vagina.
Or
at least a little bit like on the bisexual side. Should have been the first sign, but. No, I don't really feel like it's affected me. I think it's all about your mindset too. I think if you have a chip on your shoulder, you're gonna think everybody's out to get you and this and that. And I've never felt like that. I mean, I feel like at times there's moments where I just feel like it's with anything though. Like other people might have different opportunities. You know what I mean? Because they're the typical referees. You know what I mean? And I'm not the typical referee, but. It's 2021 and more opportunities. Like I think people think too because of this now WWE has female refs and all this. I think everybody just thinks that like I jumped on that bandwagon. But
when you've been doing this for a while.
I've been doing this since I've been in high school. Like I didn't just decide, it's the Me Too movement. Like I was a part of that. Let's be real. Like if you think about it, I'm one of the pioneers of that.
Yeah.
Like it might have not been on a higher scale. But people always thought that was cool, that I was a female and I did this stuff. And that I got in there with the men. And there is a couple people, and I'm not even going to put them over because their opinion of me doesn't really matter anyway. And they're not even in the business anymore. But they told me being a referee is not believable.
Yeah.
I think I might have told you this one time because it really pissed me off because I was more established than the referees they used on their show. And I went out of my way to go to this show. And they didn't want to use me. And to be honest, they never had training. They never been anywhere. But I guess their opinion should matter to me, right?
That's kind of how the mindset
of some of these people are.
That's how the mindset was when I left.
Okay.
And that's why I was like,
this is somebody that you're really cool with too.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not putting them over because to me they're a nobody, to be honest.
I mean, they weren't in the business but for 5 months.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden they were booking shows and had all this pull, which made no sense to me. I think it's just because it's the older people that jump in that don't know what they're doing.
That was part of the politics of the reason why I left.
Okay. Well,
because you had people who, just because they're older...
That they should be treated like a vet when we're young and we got more time and are passionate.
They haven't been in the business long enough for a cup of coffee.
They also told me I didn't have passion for wrestling too, which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I've been on national TV and pay-per-views and pay-per-views and you know what I mean?
So have you ever...
But I was going to finish telling you about this though.
Go ahead.
They told me being a referee was not believable.
I don't
And
see-
the reason why I guess they feel that way is because I'm a female, that it's not believable.
well,
So you want to know why I don't feel? You can defend that point if you want to, so
What?
I can debunk that.
with you being a female?
Yeah, because you were about to add something to
Oh,
that.
no. I don't. I'm not
Them
speaking
being a
for-
referee wouldn't be believable because they don't have the body figure for it at all. Like
Well-
they'd break in half, but
and I'm not defending what they say.
I think it was kind of shitty. But I've remembered it through all these years because people
Well,
like
that's
that
something
like to
you hold
prove
on to. You
wrong.
prove wrong. Fuck
And
yeah.
I'm continuing to outshine because people thought I would never do the things I think I've done at this point.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, I wasn't going to defend. What I was going to say to add to that
Yes.
is at that point in time, you were very young and green, so you weren't as experienced, and maybe that's what they were saying. I don't know, but if they added because you were a female and that's why you weren't believable,
No, that's what they said.
well, then it
Yeah,
shows
but I
their
don't-
ignorance, and they should stay in the past where they were.
Yeah, I mean, Al Snow uses me as a referee, and he's been in the business 40 years, and I trust his opinion, right?
Yeah, I would hope so.
Yes. So,
Now there are things that you could still work on, but
Oh, but we all-
so does
everybody.
Ric Flair.
yes,
And Ric
exactly.
Flair's been in the business for a billion
There's
years.
WWE refs that do stuff where I'm like, I catch and I go, what? You know what I mean?
This last pay-per-view, the Royal Rumble, how they had a referee stop at the counted 7 during Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens match,
Yeah.
just so Roman Reigns could be let off. That was a rookie mistake. I would have bumped that ref. Paul Heyman should have done something to stop that count, but that ref just stopped at 7 and waited for him to get up unlocked and then started counting. And I was like, man, who the fuck is in charge of this? And I mean, I'm nobody, but
Yeah.
like, you know who Jason is, right?
Yeah, he's a producer and everything. Yeah, he's a good
Yeah.
ref. I don't.
He's
That's
a great ref.
But I don't feel like that was his fault.
He was being told to stop.
Yeah.
But as a professional, all those people, all the experience that was right there with Paul Heyman, Kevin Owens, Jason, and Roman Reigns, somebody could have said something. Kevin Dunn could have been like, yo, one of you all bump the refs because this is... And he could have relayed the message, not trying to expose the business, but I mean, come on.
I mean that.
What they
Nope,
did
I'm just-
expose
yeah.
the business,
I get what you mean. Yeah.
and I'm against that. And I'm not trying to tread on anything and step on anybody's toes. That's why I'm not in the business, because I'm too opinionated about these things.
Yeah. I get it.
But no, and so let's talk a little bit about OVW, because since you've been there and since I've started to come back around,
Yeah.
it's changed a whole lot.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's now an accredited state school.
Yeah. Trade school.
And it's a trade school. So what do you know about the trade school? 'Cause
What do I know about it?
Yeah.
So when you complete the trade school, you obviously get like production experience, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes like towards a accreditation with production.
Okay.
And you are like the only school where you are certified as a actual professional wrestler. Okay. We have like 6 different classes. Like I've gone to a couple of them. Like I'm not in the trade school, but I do some, like when it first started, I would pop in and listen to them. Like we have one class that was like history of professional wrestling.
No shit.
Yes. And I loved it because it actually like broke down these terms that people use, that they use them very incorrectly. And some of them, I'd been in the business 10 years and I was using them incorrectly. So that just shows you, like, these people on the indies, they're just saying stuff. So now I look at them and I'm like, I don't even correct them. I don't even correct them because I don't want to come off condescending. You know what I mean?
No
So I don't
shit.
correct them because eventually somebody will pull them aside and teach them the right way. And that's the issue, too, is there's so many people, training people, that don't need to be training people. And that's why it's a good thing that Al's doing this. And, you know what I mean? And Chad Miller started it. It's a good thing that, like, they both started it together because people need to be taught this stuff the right way. Like, when you're doing wrestling, you're putting your body in somebody else's hands. And I
Yeah.
don't think people think about it like that. You know
It's
what I mean?
a dance. It's a tag team match the entire way, even if it's a singles match, because you and your opponent are partners.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't know that they had a history of professional wrestling. That makes me want to be a part of it even more than I already
That's pretty
had.
cool, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I was like going through all the terms and stuff. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Do they have so they have an actual curriculum?
Yeah. Yeah, and they have like a nutrition class, and that's where you get your personal training certification from. Yep.
No shit.
Yeah.
So OVW is like seriously stepping up the game and putting.
And then we have all kinds of classes. Like, I mean, it's just stuff I'm not going to put out there. You know what I mean? Because like, I don't know. I just don't want to put too much business out there, like we've talked about. But I mean, you know, a little bit stuff because we're best friends. You know.
Well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking you about it.
Some of the class. I mean, we have classes literally before COVID, dude. You could, if you wanted to, you could be at a class like every single day of the week, bro. If you think about it, because you should treat TV as a class too, because you're learning.
Well,
because you can sit in production and you can learn that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're a student, you could say, hey, I want to run camera, or I want to pick up people's gear, and you can see how people interact and stuff like that. Like, there's so many things you can pick up on, and people don't think about it. And that's what frustrates me too, is like people I think that are breaking in is you need to learn this business correctly, and you need to,
and out.
And I think too, people don't realize that, like, just because I'm a ref, I don't think they realize that I've done other stuff too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's been a couple times where like they didn't have a ring announcer at shows, not at OVW, but I've ring announced. You know what I mean? Like, might not been the best, but I did ring announcing a couple times. You know, I was a manager for a little bit. I know you've seen that. That was pretty funny.
You managed Pondo and
all them guys. It was like a group we had in down in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, man.
Boy, I wanted to talk to Pondo about that story because that cracked me up.
Which one?
When you all took over whatever federation.
We kind of, oh, man.
Thunderstruck. It wasn't Thunderstruck, was it?
Yeah, it was, man. It was like going under, and it was just bad. There's some stuff we'll have to talk off the record on that.
Yeah. But like there was this kid that had a wrestling belt, and Pondo.
It's the handicapped guy that goes to all the shows with belts. I don't know his name. But I think he's from that town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But huge Pondo fan, and Pondo, of course, gave him crap. But
Pondo always picking on people.
Always picking on people, but he went back and took care of it. So I mean, it is what's been. No, but like, it's cool to find these things out about OVW because I didn't know all what was going on.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to get into a trade school, and when I told Brandy the other day that I considered OVW,
what'd she say?
She kind of laughed.
Did she? I bet she did.
She's like, "No, I want you to do something serious." And I was like, "Do you not realize that like this is what my life has always been? Is like wrestling and entertainment." I was like, "There's nothing
production. Like you learn production. You know what I mean? Well, like how many people? Like okay, so now that we're talking about all this, you know, James Long, he used to do production stuff like backstage segments, and guess what? Now he works for WWE. So, I mean, it's a way to something else.
I thought he worked for Impact.
He did. You didn't know that? Dude, he's been at WWE for like 2 years. Yes.
That's so dope.
I'm pretty sure he helped with the Undertaker match, that Boneyard match.
No way.
Yeah.
Man, that match was so sick.
Wasn't it? It was pretty cool.
I was so happy with the like how it ended because...
Same, man.
It did so much for AJ Styles. And it did so much for Taker.
If that was his last thing, like you know what I mean, which it seems like it is. Like I don't think has he wrestled since then.
No, and he don't need to.
And it was a good way, like you said, it was a good way for him to go out.
Yeah, and it granted as a wrestling fan, what I wanted was either Kane or Sting to do one. I didn't want Sting to end it because Taker is always better than Sting. I love Sting. But I've always.
But as a normal
WWE
person,
guy.
Let's be real. Me too. I was a WWF kid. You know what I mean? So I get
grew
it.
Up on that. So
yes.
WCW always got mad when my dad changed it to WCW. I just didn't connect with it. But
I agree. I never got into it either, dude. Never.
I think I would have rather Kane be the one that in the streak, or not the streak, but like be the last match. Kind of like Kurt Angle. I wanted Kurt Angle's last match to be John Cena. Like, that would have made so much sense. And it would have paid off the fans. It would have paid off the wrestlers. Everybody would have went home
Did you like the John Cena match this year, though? How funny it was?
You mean talking about with
Bray Wyatt?
Bray Wyatt? It was so genius.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people try to trash on it, but I enjoyed it.
What's
I don't know. I think
They adapted to the surroundings. They adapted with the circumstances
of COVID and all this, yes.
And
that's why I enjoyed the Taker match, too, because literally COVID messed up a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah. It fucked over everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was affected. We started to come together as one community. We were uniting. And then they throw this, we're not going there. Wrestling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk about just wrestling, please.
I thought that I loved the Bray Wyatt and John Cena match. The
I was
story.
dying when he was like working out. My dad watched it with me, and my dad was just like,
It was
my dad was looking at
there
me
was
like,
a
what are you?
story to it because Bray Wyatt isn't your cookie cutter
Wrestler,
jacked wrestler that they wanted back in the 80s all the way up to current day.
Yes.
And it was like Bray Wyatt beat him mentally over
instead of physically.
and physically, and how it showed who Bray Wyatt was as a character and not as the body of Bray Wyatt. And I'm just like, bro.
Did they bring up
genius.
Husky Harris too?
Yeah,
I
Husky
feel like
Harris is the pig. That's why he's like, it started off with the pig, and then all these puppets are characteristics of what Bray Wyatt sees. Husky Harris is the pig.
Yeah.
The buzzards, the
Okay.
I
just remember watching it and I was like, what the heck? I enjoyed it though.
I am
People
such a Bray Wyatt fan that literally it's my background.
I know, I saw that.
I love it. I think that is the best thing that WWE has to date. And the fact that they're keeping him off TV for something bigger, and they're still feeding in stuff to still make him relevant. But I digress. Let's talk a little more about OVW. I went on a tangent.
Dude, it's good.
I don't know. It's just
fun.
I love wrestling. I'm very passionate about it.
Dude, that's how we became such great friends, man.
Yeah.
Like going to Raws together and watching OVW together and just traveling to shows. And I mean, we're gonna be lifelong friends. You know what I mean?
I hope so.
I would hope, man. You've been in my life for half my life now, so
yeah.
Hope that continues.
Hope
I would start taking your kids to wrestling someday.
Actually, I take Timmy to wrestling now, and he loves OVW.
I know.
And
he gets more excited to see Isaiah than He's like, oh, hey, Charlene. You're just a ref, though.
Charlene,
I get it.
Every time you can't say anything because the last time I brought him to OVW and he seen you come out,
he did get really
lost
excited.
His shit.
Yeah.
He's like, Charlene, we're here, Charlene. We hear you, Charlene. And I'm just like, buddy, she can't talk to you right now. I was like, she's busy doing a wrestling show. Speaking of, my littlest one is just eyeballing me right now.
Man, she's so cute.
Yeah, it's freaking adorable.
Did you see how awkward I was holding your kid, though?
You weren't that bad. You weren't that bad. Yeah. I've seen worse. Some people don't know how to hold a baby and they'll hold her head up like this. I'm like, no, you gotta cradle the baby. You gotta let the head fall into your elbow. And
that's what you got on me about when me and my mom were over here and another person.
Who came? Was it KTD?
I don't hang out with wrestlers.
Oh, whatever. I don't know who it was, but I remember you guys coming over here and you were holding her. It was you. If it wasn't you, it was someone else.
It was me, and you were like, you're not holding her. I was like, how am I not holding the baby correctly? What?
You gotta let my head cradle into your arm. Yeah,
man.
But no, man. OVW has definitely gotten better from over the years, and I thought that back in 2007 when WWE pulled out was very detrimental.
Dude.
What?
Now that you bring that up, as a teenager, right? Dude, I'm not even going to lie. You're going to laugh at this. This is how big of a mark I was back in the day.
Yeah.
I was so sad for a month. I was super depressed. I was like, oh, man, WWE's leaving OVW.
I definitely was bummed.
So you were super sad too, bro?
Fuck yeah. Because my roommate was Colt Cabana.
Yeah.
And he moved to Tampa and Orlando. Yeah, Orlando. And
because you're I always forget you're a few years older than me.
Yeah, I'm 33. Well, we'll be 33 this year. And, my whole life has been around wrestling. That's just what my life is.
Yeah.
My very first show was at USWA on a Tuesday night. And then I went there almost every Tuesday until 97 when USWA stopped. Then I started going to OVW and then, I mean, like, not just OVW, IWA, BBW.
Yeah.
I got to watch CM Punk before WWE. Like, I grew up watching CM Punk.
You ever go to a place over the river?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you did.
I went
wasn't
to
sure.
Colgate. I went to the Kmart building. I went to, I mean, everything in Southern Indiana I got to watch until IWA went up north to Fort Wayne. I was always at IWA. I was always at BBW. I was at XCW.
Oh, yeah, dude. I went to a couple of Mitch
Mitch
Ryder
Ryder's
shows.
show.
Dude, didn't he die?
Yeah, he passed away.
It's crazy.
You know, so, like, that's my whole life is wrestling. And I still watch it every Monday night, hoping that I'm like, man, they're going to make me a fan again.
Yeah.
But then, you know, I step back and then I realize.
To be honest, I think with the pandemic, once this ends, hopefully we go back to, because I always say this is the new normal, right? Hopefully we go back to the old normal, and then life, like, things become more enjoyable again. You know what I mean? Like, there's some stuff that just doesn't feel right without live audiences, you know?
So, I mean, then that's well, what are they going to do with, like, are they not, is WWE not going to allow fans in anymore? Because they're going to do they're going to do WrestleMania.
I heard something. Like, okay, have you heard anything about that?
So, Super Bowl had 25,000 fans at it.
Yes.
If we can have 25,000 fans at a football game, why can't we have concerts? Why can't WWE allow fucking fans back in the show? Why are we at a 50 capacity in OVW and not allowed to sell
food
concessions, but you can sell concessions at football games, baseball games, basketball games, soccer games, and their capacities, I mean, of course, it's still at their capacity is 75%.
I gotta tell you something.
What?
It's all about making money.
And they're losing money.
But football or the Super Bowl is a huge event. Think about it that way.
I'm talking about
like OVW is to the government agencies and this and that. If you think about it, you know what I mean. We're a local television, or we're not a local. We are national. Sorry, we are national, but we're fitting a couple hundred people into our building. So I think that's the difference. You know what I mean? And they're not concerned. They're not concerned with things that are not at the top level. Does that make sense?
Fair enough. Like football, like Louisville football, they have concessions there.
Do they?
Yeah,
but
that's the athletic commission.
It's just they pick and choose what they want to do, and that's what's not right in my opinion.
In itself.
Yep, it's not right. So, and I will just leave it at that because I'll start talking about different stuff too. So.
But no, like I love the fact that, like, granted, OVW doesn't have like the best of wrestlers, but their product is a lot better than it has been in recent years. And so much to the point that I like going every Tuesday night now. It is something that I look forward to. And I don't know if it's because it's feeding that.
You just want to see your best friend. That's what it is.
Probably. And then I know most of the boys, I know a handful of the boys that are currently on the product.
Yeah.
And I'm rubbing elbows with the newer guys that are getting familiar with me because they're like, oh, John Clark's been in the business for a minute. John Clark's been around. Like, he's not just some scrub fan. And then I even told Isaiah the other day, I was like, dude, you made me feel like a fucking mark because I'm sitting out here waiting for you and all these wrestlers are coming out like looking at me like I want to get them to sign an autograph. And I'm like, I want nothing from your punk ass, boy. I'm like, dude, you got me up here looking like a motherfucking mark.
You better lock your door. You better just hang out of your car if you're trying to see anybody. Oh, man.
Yeah, because, I mean, but anyways, like, the product has gotten better.
Yeah. They have really good storylines, so.
I'd like to know where some of this is going. And, of course, I'm going to have to stay tuned to see where it goes.
Like with what right now? What are you interested in?
I'm LOB. I mean, that's the money making.
You love LOB.
I love some LOB. And I guess it's because they're just, they're the bad guys. And I'm such a bad guy fan.
Yes.
I like them. There was two dudes, I think it's Anti-Gravity.
Okay.
I love what they're doing. The twins, I don't dislike them. I guess because they're the good guys. I don't like them.
So you don't like them because they're good. Okay.
Yeah, I don't like Jesse Goddard's.
Yeah.
I don't like All Hills. It just, I don't know. Maybe it's because he's spectacular. I hope he like, as a fan, not as a person.
Yeah.
As a fan, I hope he pulls a pec. I hope he tears a pec muscle. Things like, as a fan, this is what I'm coming
goofy, man.
But I mean, I like the fact that I get to yell at people again.
Yeah.
Because like when I was on stage, I got to be the center of attention and get the crowd rowdy, which I fucking love. And that's why I want to be a ring announcer again, if not a manager.
Yeah.
And I know I'm good at managing because
Yeah.
I know how. If I'm a heel manager,
Man. The heat you would get.
dude, I would almost get so much heat that it would overshadow the wrestler, and I have to turn it down. Like me and Austin Bradley, the worst two to ever be put together because
He's just the other, like, I've
such
known
a
him
heat
forever. And
Such a heat
a
magnet.
month ago, I wanted to strangle that kid.
Oh yeah, when he told you because of you I lost my job.
Yeah, and I was like, whoa, now. I was like, that's not something you joke about. I can take a rib, but that's not something you rib about. Is somebody's source of income, okay?
Yeah.
I knew you were I had a
evil.
feeling you were messing with me, but it still kind of ticked me off, not gonna lie.
No, it was funny. But like just the two of us together, we did a short stint in some fed in Indiana. Huh. I don't remember who it was, but we had nuclear heat so much that the locker room didn't like us because and J-Mo is one of the guys that he was out there cutting a promo or something. And me and Austin's match was next. And I don't know. They were just dragging it out. And me and him looked at each other. And I was like, get the story over with. I mean, and everybody heard us. And then J-Mo comes back. He was like, which one of y'all said this? I was like, dude.
I would have pointed the finger to Austin. He did.
He pointed it to me. And I was just like, dude, you weren't going nowhere with that. The fans were not paying any attention to what you were saying. I was like, you lost the crowd. Now we got to go out here and give them the energy back, It's just like, I hate that people kill the crowd. Like the whole, and I'm in the psychology thing. The very first match, they're to set the bar. And if you have a shitty curtain jerker, then, I mean, I guess you put it on to the next guy. But if you have a stellar curtain jerking match, and then the following match just gets a little better, and then you get to that mid card match where it's just like, oh fuck, I need more, and then cut them off and give them an intermission, bro. You got those fans in the palm of your hand. And I try to do the same thing when I was doing concerts. It was like I would come out, I'd have a high energy because I was the first person they'd seen. And then the band would play. So they were still kind of there. And then I was just like, oh no, you got to get over here. Let's get up over this hump. Yeah. And I would get them more. By the time that the headliners went on, these people were just fucking ready. And then the headliners would go on.
And they're probably cussing you out.
Oh yeah, they fuck John Clark. Fuck John Clark. No, baby, not everybody says that. Just some people. But,
And then you go back to dad life for a second.
I have to stay with it. I go in and out of character.
Yeah, I know, right?
But no, it just I see that with OVW as I've been going the last few weeks. Yeah. The crowds have gotten bigger to where like a few weeks ago, with you all still having 50%, you guys were like 10-20% where there wasn't a lot of fans in. But I went this past Wednesday.
I think too, like people were still nervous about coming out,
and that's fine. Be nervous.
But it did seem like this week there was a lot of people.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that's why I asked you. I was like, "What was the gate?" I mean, was there a lot of people there? And you were like, I just fucking work for the company. I don't know. And I'm like,
did I really say that?
Yeah.
I probably was in a hurry. It was like, I do sometimes figure out how many people like are there, but I guess I was just in a, you know what?
What?
I was reffing a lot of matches on.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
you were.
That's why.
There's like 3 or 4 refs there, and this past week I just seen you and one other guy.
And Dave. It was 3.
Oh yeah, John Moxley.
Yeah,
I forget about
come on
Dave.
now.
I love Dave. So yeah, it was you, Dave, and then another guy.
Yeah.
Which I've never seen that guy before.
Yeah,
And-
he's been new about around here.
Okay.
So yeah, but I think he trained at Ricky Morton School. He's like a Tennessee guy. Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, they're a little slower down there. They're still in that Memphis style, where Louisville's more like a hybrid.
I mean, if you think about it, yeah, because there's all kinds of different. It's a mixing pool of stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, Louisville is a Memphis town
Still, but yeah.
But I feel that we kind of broke out of that Memphis style, and then we've evolved, and we still have the foundation of a Memphis town.
Yeah.
But we
you still get those fans that definitely treat it like a Memphis town,
and it should still be. It should still. I mean, I think it should be it should evolve from. I think just that Memphis style and that Tennessee style is still slow and steady. The fans are 3 seconds behind you. Let's do this drop down, like I don't want to say the spot, because people will point it out, but
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
because I remember when you first started training and somebody got on you and they're like, "You don't know that kid," and then you were like, and then you made a point to be like, "All right, I know what this is now."
Yeah, I'm just like, and I for those of you who are listening,
they're like, "What is?"
They're like, "Why is all that noise?" I'm just
like, he's just whistling to the wind right now.
Like, yeah, but I mean, and I like the international spot, but it's like, does it have a place in every match? No. Can you tell a story with it? Sure, but are you going to tell the same story to everybody every night? No. You want to evolve that story, and I think the city has definitely gotten. I think we still have the foundation of Memphis wrestling. We're still in that circuit, but we're also adapted to the other circuits. And Louisville is the hotbed for wrestling, and I still consider OVW the Harvard of professional wrestling. Because if you're going to go anywhere to learn how to wrestle, and if it's in the United States,
it should be here.
You should go to OVW.
Yeah.
Get your foundation.
Because,
go to NXT. Go to Florida after that.
All right, so I'm not going to, say it like this because I don't want to talk bad about this school, okay? I have a friend who decided to go to a school outside of Louisville, right?
Yeah.
And they wanted to go to OVW. But I guess it was something wasn't in their budget, right?
OVW for the longest time was very expensive.
Yeah.
Overly
I understand,
expensive.
but if you want to be trained, yes, and that's how it is with the other places too. Like, you might pay $1,000, but then you're gonna go to another place and they're gonna look at you like you don't look at you as a joke. Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I mean? They're gonna go, "Who are you trained by?" But you say, "Oh, you went to OVW." People look at you differently.
Yeah,
they really do. Like, especially after I started repping OVW and I'd go to other shows, they'd go, "Oh, where do you work at?" And I go, "Oh, I'm in Louisville." "Oh, you work at OVW?" "Yeah, actually, I do work at OVW." "Yeah." And then they look at you differently. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, like, if you want to be the best, you have to train with the best. You know what I mean? And if you want to be taken seriously, then you need to pay the money. You can pay the money and go to another school, and that's cool and all that, but in my opinion, why would you leave this area when you have the best school and go train somewhere else? And they went to this other school, right? And they still had to pay a bunch of money because they had to move out of state, and then they were coming home to work on the weekends. Yeah. And I was like, bro.
Was this up in Ohio?
No, it was not.
Wow.
Oh, would you think a Rockstar maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Was Rockstar even a school?
Yeah, they have a school, but I don't know who's training anymore there. Yeah.
Tony Hawk's not Tony Hawk. Cody Hawk.
Cody Hawk.
Cody Hawk.
Tony Hawk, man. I didn't know he got in the wrestling business.
Yeah. Cody Hawk, I think, is still out of Cincy. Or is he down in Florida again?
No. He's in Cincy.
Okay.
I forget the name of his school, so.
Ah, my bad. I digressed yet again.
You're good.
We're rolling up on some time here, Charlie.
Are we, man?
Yeah. Do you have anything you'd like to plug? People can find you out on
Man, you gotta get me on all my social media stuff, right?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't even been on Twitter in a while. It's bad.
Well, you don't have to plug Twitter.
If you go on Twitter, just look up Charlene McKenzie. You'll find me on Twitter. My Instagram should just be. Let me double check that because I'm bad at this stuff. I have a card usually. It's Indy, but it's with a Y, so it's INDY. Girl, and then just REF, not even referee, just ref. Yeah.
Yeah, Indy
make it simple.
INDYGIRLREF. Indy ref.
Yes, and you know what's awesome about this? I've been a girl ref for so long that like all my stuff was easy to pick because before everybody got on the Me Too movement, and there was a million females that were referees. So the original, it can be. There's a lot
of OG indie girl ref.
Yeah, exactly.
She was reffing before it was cool.
Exactly. I'm like Carlito, right? I'm just being stupid now.
No,
and then
he spits in the face.
People who aren't cool.
People who aren't.
Dude, he was looking jacked at the Rumble. Can we talk about that?
100%. I was excited. I was hoping to God it would happen sooner than later. And you were right by me when Carlito came out. I was like,
oh, yeah, because you came to the party. I forgot.
Yeah, I was like, hell yeah, man. I was like, I fucking loved it. Not like Carlito was ever my favorite, but like, I always thought he was so good.
Yeah, he was really good.
It's in his gene.
Like, I thought him and like back, like around that time frame when he was good, like really
2007?
over. Yeah, him and like Shelton Benjamin, man. And I'm glad Shelton Benjamin's back now too.
I like it. I love the Hurt business.
He's so good. Like, he's super athletic. So
yeah, and MVP is doing so good for so many people too.
Dude, yeah.
Because that's the reason why Carlito got to come back. That little stint.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, like WWE's sleeping. And I don't know, we're not gonna get too more into WWE.
You're gonna keep just talking. We're gonna be like talking like fans.
I could go on forever about some shit.
And then on Facebook, obviously, you just look up Charlene McKenzie, and it's Charlene is spelled, by the way, because people spell it differently. It's CHARLENE. McKenzie. It's MCKEN. Z is in zebra. IE.
I remember you used to go by Stripes McKenzie.
Man, that was my Scun's name.
Scun's name?
Yeah, do you remember Scun's?
No. Turn it around.
Oh, man. It was the group back in the day. So,
turn it around.
Oh, I apologize about that. So, I did it all the way backwards. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
So, my Scun's name. So, Scuns was a thing between, like, me and a couple guys that, like, I used to travel with when I was, like, 18 or 19. And so we used to make videos, and everybody just had really goofy names. And so they used to call me Stripes McKenzie. And then I was like, based off my actual last name, it's people always butcher it when they try to ring announce it. And we're not going to... I don't care. You can say it. Doesn't really...
Mcanally.
If you read it, you might think that's what my last name is, everyone, but that's totally not what my last name is. Yeah. But there's a lot of people that just couldn't pronounce my name correctly, so I just figured I'd leave it something simple. McKenzie is something that you can easily remember.
McAnal bleed.
What?
I always say McAnal bleed.
Yeah, you do say some weird stuff sometimes, bro. Well, this has been a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm just glad I could just hang out, talk to my friend for...
Shoot some shizit.
Yeah. Next time, we'll have to drink some more claws, though.
Yeah. I don't have any... almost said Old English, but I don't have any of the...
Are you going to say early times?
Yeah, I don't have any ET, but I do have some Eagle Rare. ER.
So are we going to take one of those for Bob then?
We'll take one for Bob.
For Brutal Bob?
Brutal Bob.
If y'all don't know who Brutal Bob is, that's a joke. We made up this joke about that my dad was a wrestling Memphis legend.
Yeah.
Brutal Bob. And that, so the whole legend of this is that my dad would get so intoxicated and get in bar fights the night before television. So hence the reason why he was never on TV, because he get kicked off TV for getting in a fight at a bar. So.
Oh shit! I love it.
And to be honest, that really does. Like, my dad's not a violent person, but my dad was a wild man. So it could actually be something that would be very believable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's fucking garbage. That's so garbage, bro.
Oh yeah, I told it at the funeral service too. You weren't there because you were at the military one with me, but yeah, like I told that story and everybody just started laughing.
Mercy. No, your dad was very brute. and honest too. So you know what? I take that back. I can almost believe it. That I just called him Brutal Bob because of his brutal honesty. I didn't know that he was Brutal Bob, a Memphis wrestling legend who would get drunk at a bar.
I don't know how you didn't hear this of us coming up with this nonsense. We were all of course I was having a house party.
Yeah.
You know, because my house was always
fucking Sebastian probably.
Yeah, it probably was. It probably was.
Y'all were
and then Crow, I think Crow might have been over there. I don't really think you know Crow like that though. You might have met him like once or twice.
Brandon Crow?
No, you're thinking, or Cody Crow, who used to wrestle WW. No,
yeah,
no, this is a guy from Tennessee that I used to work with at IWA like years ago.
Okay,
like I met him there, and like we just became like really good friends, man. And he lives in Tennessee. He's a Tennessee wrestler. So,
all right, guys. Well, this is it. Thank you, Charlene, for being a part of Crackin' Claws, and I will see you down the road.